Now, President Trump appears to be walking back from his own administration's new policy on DACA. On Tuesday, the administration announced that it was canceling the Obama-era program that protected some 800,000 immigrants who entered the United States illegally as children from being deported. At the same time, he gave Congress 6 months to fix DACA. But after a meeting Wednesday with Republican and Democratic leaders, Trump sounded a slightly different tone. Yesterday morning, the president tweeted, and I quote, "For all of those that are concerned about your status during the 6-month period, you have nothing to worry about. No action." Now, House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi didn't seem shy about taking credit for Trump's kinder, gentler tone.
When he called this morning, I said, "Thanks for calling. This is what we need. The people really need a reassurance from you, Mr. President, that the 6-month period is not a period of roundup, but is just that the DACA is frozen and that these people will not be vulnerable." And I was reporting to my colleagues. I said, "This is what I asked the president to do," and boom, 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 the tweet appeared.
Wow. So I'm going to go to the panel. Joelle. People don't have anything to worry about. Where I live in Montgomery County, it made local news over the weekend. A young man was deported. A young student soccer player doing very well in Montgomery County, Maryland, just deported. If I were a parent, I'd be very worried. You know, the rest of his family is here, and I think this young child is now in Nicaragua, where he knows no one, has not lived in Nicaragua. It is the most heartless, horrible thing I've ever seen. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I think what the problem here is that the president really doesn't even know what's going to happen, because I don't think he's thought this out. I think this is really about the president trying to track back to his base, saying things that's going to make his base feel good. I wrote about this in Medium last week, that the president, when in doubt, right, when healthcare is failing, when tax reform is failing, he's going to tack back to going and attacking racial minorities and immigrants. He's going to blame the problems of the country on those groups. So jobs aren't going, the economy's not going well, jobs aren't there. Yeah, it's because these people are coming over the borders, when in reality we know that DACA recipients are going to add $460 billion to the economy over the next decade, that 36% of them have a bachelor degree or higher. So the president doesn't even really understand what he's doing, and it would be troubling to me, the fact that he keeps jumping back and forth. Oh, we're going to go and we're going to take this away. Oh, don't worry about it. That's cruel.
Well, it's a bit schizophrenic. I mean, Amber, what do you think? What do you think he wants? Does he want them in the country? Does he want to kick them out of the country? And why is it all of a sudden Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi are his pals? What's going on?
I think Donald Trump has been very clear about who he is, and especially policies like this are, to me, we talk a lot about fascism, but it's also a part of eugenics. He is a eugenicist. He is literally trying to displace people, not see people in the future.
Make America white again?
Exactly. Like, even if he's going back and forth, it's literally to distract us from focusing on the fact that we do need pathways to not just pathways to citizenship, but to open our borders, to make people feel safe and to move about this world. We are humans of this world. We deserve to live and move where we want, the same way I can go from Ohio to DC. That is those people's right to chase the opportunities that are available to them. And he's just cruel. He's attacking young people. He also said he wouldn't attack bad immigrants, and he's doing just that. He's attacking everyone. There is no line for this man.
So what do you think, Brandon? Kindler, gentler Donald Trump? Or is he like the mad genius, and he's gone to the Democrats to prove to his base that he'll work across the aisle? Or is he trying to punish Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan?
So I think it's a little mix of both, methods to the madness. As you pointed out, he's working with Democrats. Donald Trump was a Democrat up until like 4 years ago. Chuck Schumer, he knows, let me finish. Him and Chuck Schumer are friends. They knew each other way before, this idea that Trump is, a lifelong Republican. He knows the Senate Democrat leaders more than the Republican ones. And so to your point, as we've seen over the last 7 months with a lot of the failures of legislation trying to pass, they've had a difficult time working together. And Trump has said repeatedly, when the healthcare reform failed, he said, hey, Republicans, you don't work with me, I'm gonna go talk to Nancy Pelosi. So Trump has always had a tenuous relationship with the Republican Party, and I think it's just manifesting in his frustration. Now he's working and willing to work with Nancy and Chuck Schumer to get things done. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, again. And to your point about just the immigration thing, you mentioned again, I do agree it is a distraction. We do need a pathway to citizenship for illegals in this country. I don't like the idea that if you're opposed to DACA, that somehow you're opposed to immigrants. Because again,
you essentially are.
Let me finish. I push back on that because again, I support a pathway to citizenship for the 11 million or so.
Right.
No, it's not. No, how's the talking point? I'm telling you right now.
Because even Nancy Pelosi
Let's go back. Okay, exactly. And I'm telling you right now.
Nancy Pelosi, Democrats are also terrible on immigration. That's why we only have DACA. And we don't have open borders.
And DACA is abandoned. Let's be clear. DACA was part of they did one for the parents, they did one for the children. The parents' portion of it was deemed unconstitutional, was removed. Obama did it. DACA right now is a Band-Aid. It doesn't grant citizenship. It doesn't. All it does, it gives a 2-year deprive. And so these people you're saying you're concerned about, there is no conclusion to this. DACA only gives you a 2-year deprive. They're still sitting waiting. So I like the idea that they're pushing Congress to come forward with a solution. That's where it should have been from originally.
You're in trouble. But we got to go to the next story.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no. That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
News One Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.